They're shouting their politics from the walls at you, you know.
Your religion is your politics, and your politics is your upbringing, and your school, and politics and religion, it's all intertwined.
The majority of the population never wanted to be there.
Like, you don't necessarily need to consider yourself political to experience politics back home.
Fascists would be more liberal, they're not that liberal, they don't accept a lot of people's views.
I don't really identify myself as Irish or Northern Irish or from the UK. Like, I'm just from Derry.
These are the pallets for the bonfire that they're collecting.
Growing up in Derry and having parents from quite Catholic areas has obviously shaped my political views immensely.
I'm Catholic from Derry, which is obviously like that's most of my identity right there.
I had friends from both sides of the community, and I got along with them very well. I think the reason why it went well for me was I was kind of like the in-between, so they never really associated me with either sides.
You'd meet someone, you'd say you're from Derry, and they would say, oh, don't you mean Londonderry? And it was kind of a dig, kind of a joke, but depending on the day, you might take it bad, and there's people who would take that very bad.
Identity has been made contentious in order to further political gains, which I suppose has played out unfairly, in my opinion, particularly around the Orange Parade. Republicans have agitated and shown little respect or tolerance, lead to quite opposite for that British identity, all in order to destroy that identity and further their aim of this fantasy of a united Ireland that really is based on a lot of false narratives in terms of Ireland as some sort of Catholic Gaelic state and that there was nobody else here, I think.
Irish people look at Palestine and they say, yes, they did that to us. Palestine is the story of the moment. It is the global story of the moment.
It says 6 Palestinians were killed and several wounded by Israeli gunfire while gathering to collect food supplies.
Yes, there are terrible things happening in Sudan, but for all sorts of reasons, Sudan doesn't figure in our consciousness, not least because it doesn't figure in the news as much. You know, Israel-Palestine is number one. It's up there on top.
When I was growing up, there was hope that this could be the benchmark for other conflicts around the world to show them it is able to be done.
I always remember there being Palestinian flags. I always remember there being every now and then something to do with Palestine on the Free Derry corner.
Free Derry Wall has been a wonderful place because it has been the place in Derry which has been the focus of that international attention.
But since October 7th, there has definitely been a lot more Israeli flags in more loyalist areas. That's something I never would have really seen or noticed beforehand, I guess.
There's a sort of a dismissive way of putting that, of saying that, you know, we love to fight proxy wars here, you know. So we love to take sides in relation to something that has no immediate relationship or effect to us and take sides and fight each other on it. That's too easy a dismissal, too easy altogether. I mean, by that measure, the only reason that loyalists fly Israeli flags is because Republicans fly Palestinian ones, and it's not that simple.
You have some within our community of nationalists and Republicans who support one group, and they all, I think, they should support the other without really being educated around it, and that's at times naive of them, I think. And I think you concentrate on sorting our own problems out first.
For us, we don't have a choice in terms of supporting Palestine. It's the British government, the Protestant communities, they support Israel, then we support Palestine.
I think a lot of Irish people see a solidarity with Palestinians because of the same, on a different level, different scale, but the same type of occupation, colonialism, and the same response with Hamas and the IRA kind of being, even though they're a resistance group and resistance is only formed by occupation, they are technically terrorist organisations.
It is in the DNA of the Irish to know what colonialism means, and therefore when they see colonialism so nakedly abusive on their TV screens or on their media feeds or whatever, they're saying, yeah, that resonates there somewhere. I don't think it's naivety at all. I think it is actually a good political maturity that says that they can make the connections and they can know it.
Since October 7th as well, there's been a Palestinian cafe open up in Derry that's always busy. Anytime I've been in it, it's been rammed. When you walk in, you definitely see a clear alignment between freedom fighters, Irish freedom fighters, Palestinian freedom fighters. Che Guevara is always walked in there as well. And I think they try to draw that comparison as well to make, because people do feel solidarity, and it kind of brings it back home again that people are just fighting for their freedom essentially.
So you want to look at groups, modern music groups, to glorify terrorism, and that's what young people are getting.
There's this idea that young people don't care about politics and they don't care about the issues around them, but like they clearly do. It's maybe that they just don't see their view represented in the mainstream, and that's why maybe, as I said, they're more straining into things or going towards things like kneecap, Derry Girls, Say Nothing.
It's great to put us on the map, especially when before either of those things, the only thing people like knew about Northern Ireland was like the bombings. Like the Troubles was the only thing people knew.
It raised the profile of Palestine single-handedly through the Coachella concert, you know.
There's a worse occupation happening right now in Palestine.
I think when they were booked for Coachella, and even like everything they were booked for Glastonbury and gigs that have been cancelled recently, is like, I think people kind of forgot where they came from and where they started.
And people are being ingrained and indoctrinated into this thing that, you know, they were right to undertake a violent campaign, and that they still want the Brits out, and that you can see that sliding back and that narrative now amongst young people.
Yes, now they're rapping about, or they're drawing attention now to Palestine in a different message. Their origins of being, a political band has always been there.